stay fly, hustle through the sky, moonwalk on clouds, stack it up, cheddar, feeling better, proud, mind sharp, cutting through vibes, samurai sword, dropping bars, hit like a freight train aboard. City lights reflect dreams, mirrored ambition, chasing glory in the chaos, no permission. Quick wit, sharp tongue, arrows in the dark, navigating life, playing like a park. Buster rhymes taking over, no one can ignore. From the alleyways to the grand concert hall floor, putting pieces together, call it life jigsaw. Rise from the ashes, phoenix never withdraw. Cold nights, warm dreams, hustling for the cream. Every block another challenge, never what it seems. Silent whispers in the wind, secrets unfold, weak stories with rhythm, iron thread to gold. Past troubles, now chapters in a book, flipping through pages, never a second look. Running fast, marathon of vibes, so free. Corner to corner, city to city, life beats. Eyes on the prize, never blink, dodge the haze. Echoes of the past haunt sometimes the blaze. Blueprint the future, scribbled on city walls. Stand tall, fortress of rhymes, never falls. Tell me right.
Sorry about that. What is up, everybody? It is Friday night, which means another episode of First and Last Hit Show. Bear with me here. Sorry about the background. Number one, that is delicious. So, I don't know what the hell's going on with Mac. Tonight's episode, Serious Discussion Friday. It's not your usual kickback Friday. There's a reason for that. See, there's a few events, call them, I don't know, that need to be discussed. All right, a few topics, if you will. I was explaining to Mac. Mac said, just texted, said I might start without him. Sorry, Mac. Started already, but that's all right. Hold on, folks. If you can't join, then hopefully you can at least tune in. All right, so there's a few things. Hold on, allow me to get comfortable here. That have been on my mind and that severely need to be discussed. Now, hold on here. I don't even know where to start. I'm so pissed, right? So much so that when I was getting ready for the show, just to put on this polo, it took me 3 tries. 3 tries. First time I put it on inside out. I took it off and put it back on. I put it back on backwards. 3rd time was the charm I was able to get it on. All right. So, look, guys, I'm a nice guy. At least I try to be. I'm also very open and honest about my opinions of people. I don't like people. I'm not a people person. I'm not. However, life events happen that make you sit and want to change for the better. Right? I have 3 kids. And it's because of those 3 kids I have made a conscious effort to get better myself, to just overall be a nicer guy. And so my interactions with people, my um, wanting to be around people is for my children, to be a better example for them, because I don't want my children growing up disliking people just because dad doesn't. I want my children to make those decisions for themselves. And when I say I don't like people, I'm not a people person, the latter is probably more true. I'm really not a people person. To like people, though, that can be easily misconstrued. That could easily be misinterpreted. Allow me to clarify. I don't have a problem with anybody unless you make me have a problem. Case in point, a few examples. You know, regardless of the setting, right? It doesn't matter if you're in church. It doesn't matter if you're grocery store. Uh, it doesn't matter if you are at a football game or just a sports game in general. Respect. Respect. That is a key. That's something that we should all have. Right? Now, respect has seemed to have gone out the window. Allow me to share, if you will. More and more recently, my very few relationships I have with people. Maybe they ruffle a few feathers. Maybe they bother some people. This is and you know what? I'm actually going to rename the episode right now. Bear with me here. Tonight's episode is called PSA Friday. Excuse me. Because we're about to drop a lot of PSAs tonight. PSA number 1. Mind your business. All right. Now, look, what I mean by that is your relationships with others is nobody else's business. My personal relationship or my friendships with persons X, Y, and Z should not bother or be an issue for persons A, B, and C. If a person's A, B, and C has a problem with my relationship with X, Y, or Z, you don't need, number one, you need to mind your business, right? Because that is, it's nobody's place to judge anybody else. With you don't see me having an issue, right? I try to be respectful. I may not like people. I may have sorry, a little flustered here. If I have an issue, say with John Bob down the street, and I have a friend who's very close with John Bob, my um, best way to explain it. I'm not going to judge my friend or my, whoever based on their relationships with other people. That's not my business. Um, we live in a world where y'all just I don't know. I don't know. And I struggle to figure out. And this is why I really wish Cameron could be here, because he would be able to really help me. Let's move on from that. We can revisit that here shortly. When I can get a little more composed and a little more in thought with how I want to address that topic. This one is easier for me to address because of my views, and I have addressed this before. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care. Sorry about the background noise. I don't care about your sexual preference. I don't care about your religious beliefs. I don't care whatever you political views, those are your views. And here's the thing. I may not like certain things. For instance, on the show, right, Mac and I have addressed very few our views, political, religious, even sexual preferences. And every single time we address it, we say the same thing. We don't push our beliefs on anybody. We just ask for the same respect. I had an incident that happened tonight, actually. So I go on the VR, right? Because I no longer have a challenger for the KCC championship, at least as of right now. So I went on there, did an open challenge, see who wanted to answer it. King's Choice Combat, allow me to address real quick, is a promotion that also involved, it's real life sports, combat sports, but also has included VR combat or VR boxing to allow those who don't have the means to travel the opportunity to compete as well. That's besides the point. So I go on, and I'm looking, hopefully seeing who's going to answer the challenge. I get this guy who comes in, and he starts getting a little fruity, if you will. I don't know what word to really use. I put my hand out, I said, nope. I shake my head. Now you can clearly see, because with this specific VR game, if you will, you can't communicate. Welcome, you would please drop a chat and a comment. You can't communicate unless you call the individual on the phone. It's not like, your Xbox, your PlayStation, shit like that. And if Mac were on here, I would actually send him the video and we would watch it. I don't know if I want to post it or not. Here's my problem. If I decline and I shake my head, no, that's universal language. No means no. And so he continues to push his, in this particular instance or incident, continued to push his sexual preference on me. Mac and I, again, allow me to reiterate, we talk about it all the time. We don't care what your sexual preferences are. what anything like that is. We don't care. We respect what, you know what I mean? It's one of those things that you believe what you want to believe. You know, we don't have to like it. We don't have to agree with it. But at the same time, you know, we're not going to push our beliefs upon you. And this individual severely crossed the line. I won't get into details because they were very graphic. That's why I wish we had the video. And I wish Matt could be on here. Besides the point. And so he pissed me off. And I go in there and I knock him out. And he got stupid. And he continued to keep doing it. I did one last fight with him. Because, and you could even hear in the video, just I'm getting so pissed off. And it's the first time I think in any of the videos, because I usually try to record all my fights, I think it's the first time you really hear me get pissed off. And I'm not talking like just pissed off, like almost rage. I don't like people pushing their beliefs. I don't do that. And what I don't understand is the lack of respect that we find ourselves in. Where I find more and more each day, we live in a world where people just don't have respect anymore, but yet they want to sit there and whine and cry. There we go. Now, see, thank you, Mac. I'm going to send it to you because I've been struggling for the past almost 20 fucking minutes, and we need to talk about it. Yeah, let me, cause I'm running on the PC, Mac. So let me see here. I got you though. Folks, I will, bear with me here. Invite. We'll do. Sure. All right. T. All right, Mac. If I send it to the show's email, give me a thumbs up or let me know if you got it. And because I'm running on the PC, I don't have Messenger. I'm still trying to figure that shit out on how to get Messenger on the PC. You know what? While we're waiting for Mac, we're going to cut the commercial break. Or if Mac is actually able to do it, we might just scrap this whole episode and start fresh. Personally, I'm having a night where I just don't give a fuck. I don't care. Tells you how flustered I am, people, when usually I do an episode, and usually I do all right. Yeah, it's always better to have your co-host, especially when they're family. But tonight just has me so flustered. So let's wait, see what Mac wants to do. As a matter of fact, I'm going to text Elmo. Hold on, folks. Let's cut the commercial break here, and then we will see you shortly.
Imagine freedom, but only it comes with chains that you can't see. Every year in South Carolina, 11,000 are released from prison and carrying the invisible weight of their past and facing a future that's blurred with uncertainty. My brother was one of them. Found Jesus, found hope, and then the world outside tested him. Pushed him down a hole so deep that he couldn't climb out. The day he shared his deepest pains to me in a letter was the day that he chose to end his story. Well, his ending sparked my beginning, a mission to make sure that no one walks alone after prison. Jumpstart isn't just a program, it's my promise, our promise to lead faith inside the walls and carry it out into the world. We are here to lift the weight and clear the haze of uncertainty and to stand by those who seek redemption and a new path with Jesus. Join us and be the difference in a story of transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jumpstart.
Oh, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty. Welcome back, folks, to FALH Radio. First and last hit. So, I just got off the phone with Mac. He will be on shortly. While we're waiting, back to what I was saying. So, I'm actually going to send Mac the video as well. See if it downloaded first. I don't. Yeah, so, and after the second time, this guy kept just pushing it in. It just really just getting downright fucking vulgar. Downright vulgar. And because I was initially going to leave after the first fight. Oh, hold on, let me see. Is this the video? Please tell me this is the video. Yes. All right. So I'm going to send this over to Mac. Folks, we are going to watch it. We are going to watch it. Yes, yes, yes. Whether or not, now, look, usually I would post it. Oh, excuse me. Y'all are going to get a first, I guess, preview. Excuse me. Let's. So while we're waiting for this to download to my phone. So yeah, I mean, I knocked his ass out twice. And he's still really just fucking pushing. Thank God Mac's here because.
Second.
We can do a new episode if you would like.
No, you're fine.
One, I'm going to send you this video. I don't know whether or not to post it or not. Two, the reason we are having PSA Friday. And dude, you know when you're unable to make it, and on the rare occasions I run it myself. For the most part, I think I do an all right job. Where the hell did you go?
Don't know. I don't know.
Anyways, for the most part, you know that I'm able to hold it down. For the most part, you know that I'm able to hold it down. At least I think I do an all right job. Tonight, dude, I have been so flustered for two reasons. One, as I was explaining earlier.
There we go.
We had this fucking guy. So I go on because you know that I don't have a challenger for the KCC Championship. I went in and I beat Nicholas. And, well, first, hold on. I want to talk about this before we get back to being serious. That just made my whole mood change. I talked to him. I talked to Nicholas. And I convinced him to put up his title shot. If I beat him, he doesn't get it. And I went in there. I beat him. I fucking beat him. So, that leaves me without a challenger. Now, leading into tonight, I jumped on the VR after, charged a little bit. Did some open challenge. Well, thought I was doing some open challenges. Only ended up doing one. Ran into an individual, and Mac, do you remember how I send you these videos before?
Oh
Usually,
yeah. I remember.
I can't remember how I. Oh, hold on.
Sorry.
It's too loud. Should send to chats. You can still share it to other places. So I will. I will send it to you. Let me know if you end up getting this video and if it plays for you in text message. If not, I will find a way to send it to you. So I go in and I don't start recording in the lobby like I probably should have. You know, again, Mac, you and I, we very rarely do we talk about our beliefs and, you know, whether political beliefs or our political views, sexual preference is, or just our views in general, right? We try to, right, because we don't want to feel as if we are shoving our beliefs down other people's throat. It's just out of respect. So tonight I jump on, dude starts getting a little weird, if you will, I guess. Earlier I had used the term fruity, but I'm not trying to offend anybody here, so failed to send. All right, let's try something different. So, you know, I shake my head no. You know, obviously that's fucking clear enough. And he keeps pushing. And so I go in there. Now this is the second incident that I had. The cause for this, I'll jump back to the first one. That first one incident has me so flustered because it's got nothing to do with beliefs, right? It has to deal more with people not minding their fucking business. I'll get you the video here. I need a minute. So we go in there and he continues and he starts to get even more vulgar. You'll see.
Right.
And all it does is piss me off. And for the first time, you can even hear it in the video. For the first time, I really start to fucking rage, and I put him out. Now I could have just left after the first fight, but I ended up doing one more, and I knocked his ass out again. You know, again, you know, it's about respecting. We live in a world where I don't think. I mean, I guess I've been beating around the bush, so let me give it. Let me spew it straight. We live in a world where people are so, I don't know. It's like they can do whatever they want, right? And there's no issue there. Oh well, I'm gonna be disrespectful. I'm gonna push my beliefs down your throat. I'm gonna do whatever I want. But the moment that something happens to them, they fault somebody else. And is why is that, Mac? Maybe it's my lack of understanding. Maybe you can explain it better than I can. But whom the fuck is persons X, Y, and Z to shove their beliefs or their preferences or whatever it is down somebody else's throat? But then
here's my take on that. My take is, if they push, I'm gonna shove. And
right.
And I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna shove back with.
Folks, while Mac is doing that, I'm going to try to get him this video. It's only 7 minutes, but still, we're going to try.
I'm back. My bad, folks. My computer's dead, and I don't know where my charger is. And
we're just having a hell of a night, folks. But
yeah, like I said, if you push, I'm gonna shove back, and you're gonna get this.
Oh, we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about that here. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. I can't airdrop to you. Let me try to freaking email you the video.
You can't airdrop because we're not at least a mile away.
Yeah, I know. So, what the fuck do I email it to you now?
By the way, funny scenario. I'm running the offense tomorrow in our final game.
You're running the offense tomorrow?
I'm running the offense tomorrow.
You got a game tomorrow?
Final game against the number 2 team in the league.
I'm afraid to even ask what we are placed at.
We're in 6th place.
I mean, what are we gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, there's really nothing we can do about it.
And next Saturday is start of the playoffs. I don't even think we play next Saturday. I actually think we will get a bye.
Really?
Yeah, because you got the playing game, and then you got the the quarterly finals, and then the semifinals, and then. Oh, you want to see something?
Yeah.
Hey, new kid.
Fucking new kid. What the hell are you going on about? New kid.
Look at Bonehead.
Oh shit. Yo, look at him. All right. Hopefully that's gonna be our team next year. Next spring.
Well, it's either that or the Titans.
The Titans.
After watching Remember the Titans last night with them kind of.
How did I send you this freaking video last time? I don't remember, and it's pissing me off.
I don't know. We'll just worry about it after the show.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking stress over it. Look, dude, you know me. I don't care either way. Dirty Bird Nation. Now, here's the thing. Now, like, obviously, what everybody just see me do to Mac, that's just us, right? You know, if you have that fucking relationship with somebody where you can joke around like that, you know, that's different. That's different. When you are doing it and somebody tells you no, you don't force it on them. Now, Max showed something that has also drawn my attention.
I have 3 of them. So,
and here's the thing about that, right? Mac and I, we are in different churches, right? More and more recently, I wouldn't really consider myself a member of an organized, I guess, religion or exclusive to one church. I am a firm believer that your relationship with God. Here's my view, Mac. If you are baptized, I don't care where you're baptized. I don't care if you're baptized Baptist.
I would say this about being baptized. Hold on.
Oh, hold on here. Let's fix the damn screen. There we go. I like being over on this side, especially when I'm running on the PC. It's easy.
I would say this about being baptized. Mm-hmm. If you're not baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I tell you that you are not baptized.
That's right.
And whoever baptized you, I ain't going there.
Here's the thing. If you are baptized, right? Because Mac, you can agree, you have to be baptized. At least that's what we believe. You know, we're not gonna, these are our beliefs that we hold to be true. Now, here's Mac. You and I, we have sometimes, very rare, do we come across differences of opinion or beliefs or whatever you want to call it. We also have that mutual love and respect for each other. That's all right, no problem. But at the same time, when it comes to being baptized, I don't care if you are baptized um, Baptist, Mormon, freaking Catholic, freaking Buddhist. I don't care where you're baptized.
Well, I mean,
Mag sounds like a Buddhist is a bit of a stretch, but
they're all false. I mean, everyone, they're all false. And
I mean,
Buddha is false.
yeah, I mean, now look, here's the thing: we are to believe in one God, right? However, at the same time,
There
I
can't
believe.
be no other God. There's no other God than God.
Well, yes, absolutely. But here's the thing, though: I believe that all churches. And now, look, I mean, strip away the Buddhism for a minute, right? Because I don't know enough about it. All I know about them is the Shaolin monks. They're superhuman, and they're bald. That's about the extent that and they worship some chubby guy in a freaking robe that looks like he's drooling over freaking pancakes. I don't know. Besides the point. But take away that for a minute. Let's hone in on the other major ones. I believe churches in general, Catholics, Mormon, Baptists, any church, they hold truth, some truth. They may not have all the truth because God's not here yet. The second coming of Jesus Christ hasn't happened yet. Jesus has not returned yet. So, and because of that, we don't know what 100% of the truth is.
It's all in this book, though. It's all right here.
What I feel, though, is like, for instance, growing up, even when I was just, a wee boy, about maybe, I was 10, remember, I always believed that you could be married. And I don't even say I really believed it at first. It was more or less a question of what happens if you get married, right? Because we all are familiar with "till death do us part." That, for me, it never sat right with me. I never understood it. I never could wrap my head around it. I always wondered to myself, could you ever be married for all time and eternity? Mac, you and I may differ, and it's okay. That's all right. I believe that you can. And again, here's where organized religion, right, may hold some truth. However, not. It's really hard to say because for me, like in the Mormon religion, right, there's a belief that you can be married to your spouse for all time and eternity. Do I believe that? I believe there is truth with that for the simple fact that when I had these types of questions, and I really believed that, I knew nothing about the Mormons. I knew nothing about that religion. I didn't even know of a religion that believed in forever marriage. So yes, I do believe that there is truth within that. Now, I'm going to jump over to the Catholics here. I've never been a Catholic. My father was Catholic. I'm not Catholic, but on the rare occasions you'll see me do the Catholic sign. I believe in confession. My thing about confession is I don't feel as if you should be giving Hail Marys. I don't know what Hail Marys are. I mean, I know what they are in football terms. That's the extent of what I know about a Hail Mary. But besides that, I mean, you go to confession from just based on what I know about confession, Catholics. You go and you confess your sins. They give you Hail Marys, and then you leave.
Look, and I'm sorry, it's a little humor joke, but when you go to church and you go into the booth and it's like, all right, come in, my son, or come in, my daughter, and it's like, what do you need to talk about today? And they're like, okay, I did this, this, and this. And they send you home, and it's like, go home and do 20 Hail Marys. And it's like, okay. They get home, they eat dinner, blah, blah, blah. They're sitting down, they're getting ready to pray. And then all of a sudden, they go, 1 Hail Mary, 2 Hail Mary, 3 Hail Mary, 4 Hail Mary, 5 Hail Mary, 6 Hail Mary. How long they're doing it.
Mac, what am I going to do with you? See, it's hard to be serious. And anyways,
Yeah, just a little.
but it's one of those things. Like, do I believe? Yes, I mean, I believe. And here's another thing I'll pull from the Catholics. Do I believe in the paranormal? Absolutely. I've had many of experiences that make me a true believer. That could carry a whole episode, another 3 episodes if we really wanted to. But that's besides the point. So yes, do I? And again, but if you take what the Catholics believe in paranormal wise and all that, and you compare it to the Mormons or LDS, Latter-day Saints, whatever you want to, whatever term you want to use, there's a strong division there, disagreement there. Mormons don't necessarily really believe in the paranormal, which is fine. That's their belief. I believe that there is more out there. For instance, I was watching a video actually shared by a certain wise man. And I'm watching this video, and it happened to be, I'll have to get the videos again. I don't know if they were scholars or who they were. They dug a little deeper in the Bible and, really gotten into that. And here, finding old, way back in the times. And they uncovered that there used to be a Book of Mary and a Book of Thomas. Why don't we hear about the Book of Mary anymore? Why, or for those who never heard, well, how come better yet, how come the Book of Mary and the Book of Thomas is not talked about anymore? Well, I would like to share my welcome beer. Okay, goodbye, viewer. Sure. Anyways, my belief is it was lost in translation because. Yes, we have a Bible. How many versions of the Bible do we have, though? Quite a few. At the same time, one can't say, it's my belief here, one can't say that the Bible or a Bible is 100% translated correctly because when the translator, whoever it was that translated the Bible throughout time, they could have, and I'm not saying they did, I'm just saying it's a strong possibility, they may have either taken something out or added their personal beliefs. I've seen it in churches where they're up there preaching and they add in their personal belief. They add in their personal thoughts. Not necessarily something that should be done, but I'm not gonna judge.
My thing is, and this is probably where we can agree to disagree, or
All right.
disagree to disagree, but not gonna change my. That's not gonna change the way that I see you or anybody else, but. Can only say there's only one God. There's only one God to serve.
Right.
Right.
Yep. I agree with that.
Well, I think, and this is me. I think that there's only one true book. They call it a book. I call it my guide. I believe there's only one God, and that's this. I don't believe in any other books.
See,
Because the only reason why is because you can't mix what is in here and then rewrite it and put it in something else.
I believe
And try. Well, basically, what I'm saying is, you can't mix words. What's said in the Bible is what's said in the Bible.
I mean, I believe there's too much of the, I guess, unknown, in a sense that we were only born in our respective birth years, right? And history, regardless if it's historical events or whatever, we only go based on what we're taught, what we learn, and things like that. Mac, you and we have talked about it extensively, which I will be sharing a future episode here when I bring this up. Our thoughts on the Chris Benoit case. What have we said in each one of those videos? These are our thoughts, our opinions. At the end of the day, we weren't there. We don't know what happened. We can only go based on our research, our thoughts, our, whatever it is, which leads us to what we know to be true. That's how we find out our truth.
And a lot of people will. I mean, I can get into this a lot. I've probably mentioned this one group called the Hebrew Israelites to you a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And every time somebody speaks to them or wants to talk to them, they always say, "Don't come." They're always saying, "Don't come at me with the most famous quote in the Bible." Well, the reason why it's so famous is because it's true.
Right. And I know what you're talking
and
about.
I'm going to read it to you. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. I'm not ending there. That is 3:16, but it does not stop until you get to 3:20. 3:17. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but in order that the world might be saved through him. All right?
Yep.
18. 18 refers back to 16. Whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only Son of God. 19. And this is the judgment: the light has come into the world, and people love the darkness rather than the light.
Mac did something with his beard. I can't put my finger on it.
I did.
Yeah, I like it.
And then 20.
Just for men?
Huh?
Just for men?
Well, just for me.
Just
What?
for men? Is that what you used on your beard? I mean, I noticed something, and I'm wondering, is it just men?
No. There's the shampoo that I use. I have like I don't really use it because like it'll make my beard really soft. And then once
Very,
it's like once it gets really soft, it starts shedding and yeah.
very Mufasa-esque type,
Yeah.
Nice.
But the thing I don't like is they'll sit here and say, I never mind, I can't speak of it right now. But they'll sit here and say a certain thing, and then they'll be like, well, white can't go to heaven because of what they did back in the day.
I know where you're going. Yep.
Here's my thing. I wasn't there
Well,
in that time.
I'm actually glad you brought that up because it reminds me of guilty by association. Is what it's sounding like. Allow me, because now you have opened up a fun discussion. This kind of refers to the first thing that I tried to get off my chest. Is really bothers me, right? So the thing about that is, and yes, I can tie all of this in together. But for the most part, whether you're a church member of any church, I don't care what your
Yeah, I don't care what your association is. I don't care what church you
right.
go
I mean,
to.
it's your beliefs, but we're not. It's not for us to judge. God is the one that judges, not us.
I will leave. I mean, if you want prayer, I will pray with you. If you want to know about God, I will tell you about God.
But we gonna shove it down your throats.
But I will tell you though, without this, I'd be lost.
Oh yeah. Well, and here's what has me bothered, right? I have throughout my life, I have taken the opportunity to be open-minded. Here's where I have severely pulled back with the whole organized religion bullshit, pretty much. I can't get. I'm not a blind follower. I will not sit there and say, well, the Baptists are 100% right in the truth. Not going to say that about the Catholics or anything like that, because I believe that when the moment you start saying, oh well, LDS or Catholics are welcome, we would drop chat in the comments. Once you start saying that, one religion or one church organization has, you believe in everything that they do, and you are severely limiting your knowledge in God. You start to, and for me, I can't bring myself to do that. I try to stay open minded, and I will look at any and all material that is presented to me. I will take in everything that is said to me, whether or not I believe it. Well, about that, it has to make sense to me. Oh, sorry, guys. But it has to make sense to me. If you can make logical sense, all right, maybe it's something I pray about, maybe not. But back to my original, Mac, you kind of brought up about guilty with association. I have never in my life have went to a church and without kind of getting muddy here, right? Without dropping names of organizations or anything like that, and it's just more or less to kind of keep the peace. Because again, I have went to different churches throughout my life. Most of them have been all right, but I have ran more recently into, well, Andy, and kind of just paraphrasing and just kind of, you know, somebody has a problem with me, so they're going to take it out on my wife and kids. Now, whether you're a church member or not, you don't do that. You don't do that. But then when you do it, and that person retaliates or has a problem, you want to act like you're the victim, and it's no, that's not okay. Again, we live in a world where people do and say whatever they want and act like there's no repercussions. I believe that today's world has been severely stripped of its intelligence, and it is harder and harder to try to understand or process why things are the way they are. Now, I try to go to church for peace and for myself and my family. Now, like last Sunday, Mac, and I'll share this with you. You and I, we've talked. We have talked about LDS. Here's where I will hone in on one specifically. You've asked me questions. I've done my best to answer. Last Sunday was absolutely fantastic. I cried, and not because, because it was lightning. It was very nice, and just overall, it was a good setting. I believe that the Spirit will reside wherever it feels welcome. I don't believe that the Spirit is honed in on just one congregation or anything like that.
Exactly where we're going.
So that was a nice service. I have also been in other wards or congregations, and again, Mac, you know exactly which one I'm talking about here. But I'm trying to caution myself. Where, yeah, there's an Andy problem. There is a I'll even use the term. There's a Brother Harrison problem. We're going to take it out on the family. We're just going to dismiss, his wife and kids. That's not okay. And here's the thing. I don't care, regardless of what religion you're from, whether you're religious or not. Don't ever put somebody on a higher, or hold them to a higher standard than you would hold yourself or anybody else. Because what you're doing there is you're really you're teetering on a line that kind of messes with your own salvation. I have noticed more and more recently, and this has not been brought up to just me saying it to myself. It's been brought to my attention from others. I get held to a higher standard, and that's what it fucking eats at me. Don't hold me, you know what I mean? If I do something wrong, quick and easy to judge and condemn me for it, but at the same time, if you do it or you see, somebody maybe you get along with, that's why I don't care about people's opinions about me. You either like me or you don't. I don't mind taking the heat for my beliefs or my thoughts or my opinions, my actions, because at the end of the day, I know that there are going to be I can't please everybody. I'm always going to piss somebody off, and I have learned that I can't let that bother me. But about that, now, regardless whether you're a churchgoer or you're not, or whether you just are firmly against it, I don't care. Overall, in general, here's the one thing I will say is mind your fucking business. And what I mean by that is, if say Sally Joe, right? Sally Joe, maybe she doesn't like my relationship with Mac. Well, Sally Joe, here's the thing. It ain't none of your damn business of my relationship with Mac. You don't have to like that Mac and I are family, or that we talk, or that we're close. What we do and what our relationship is none of your business. Why do you care so much? And that just and it just fucking eats at me, dude. It fucking nags the shit out of me. How people have nothing better to do with their lives than to sit there and get mad and just get so fucking irritated and bothered by my relationship with persons X, Y, and Z. You're and here's where I'll name drop, but I won't. I'll reference, and you know exactly who I'm talking about because we call him dumbass all the time. You don't hear me, trying to meddle in with your relationship with dumbass. Because I don't care. That's your relationship with dumbass. Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about it, I'll sit and listen to it. You're family. But at the same time, I know our relationship, and I know that you always have my back. I mean, unless I find out there's either some sketchy shit going on, or there's something. If there's a reason for me to be concerned, then I'll start to worry, or I'll start to be concerned, or I'll address it then. If I'm not given a reason to worry about it, then I don't care, Mac, who you're friends with or who you talk to, because that ain't my place. It ain't my business, and nothing's brought to my attention where I'm a focal point or my family's a focal point. I'm not, if there's no reason for me to address a problem, if there's not a problem that concerns me, then why am I going to be too bothered or offended who you're friends with or who you talk? I don't care. I got better shit to do with my life than, oh man, Max, for instance, Mac is talking to dumbass, and I really feel uncomfortable. I wonder what they're like. No, I mean, again, are you really that insecure about somebody else's relationship? And that just, I don't know. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what grinds my gears. It's just like, and I stated before, Mac, and you know what it's like to want to do better for your kids, set a better example. And that's what I'm trying to do. So as much as I genuinely hate to have to go out there and just take the chance, even because there are good people out there. I just want to address that right now. There are good people out there, and I don't want to take it. I don't want to rope in the good people with the bad. But there are sometimes either one or maybe a few bad apples that ruin the bunch. I find myself where, my socialization and the reason I go out there and socialize and take that chance for people is because, like I stated before earlier in the episode, it's for my children. Because they're young, I want them to grow up. I don't want them to grow up in, oh, well, I don't like people because I see my dad doesn't like people. No, I don't want my influence and my preferences to influence my children's decisions. They need to make that decision on their own. If they like people, great. I want better for my children. I don't want them to isolate themselves. Hardly ever do I leave my house. Right. I mean, I would like to, but I don't feel really the need to. If I'm keeping myself occupied, then I'm good, But for the most part, it's because I run into people that are either they want to test me. I'm trying to distress, and I'm trying to move away from having to deal with problems. Fair enough, we have enough, especially when it comes to family problems, if you know what I mean. So yes, I mean, my interaction and because of these interactions, it's led to opportunities and it's led to some great relationships. But also at the same time, I try to severely limit my, what do you call it, Mac? It's the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
You know, people that I don't know, maybe they deserve the benefit of the doubt, but I think I've been burned enough where it's like, I'd rather not. More or less, my reasons for taking the chance on people, like I said, is for my children. They'll start to grow up, they'll see a pattern. It's their choice. You know, disagree with it or not, that's up to, you know, y'all to figure out. Me personally, though, I am grateful. I am thankful for the relationships that I have. I am grateful and thankful for any and all interactions that I have with people. The good and the bad, because there's lessons learned out of that. And it's helped me to improve.
Well, that's what life is about.
I just, and then of course there are some instances, there's some interactions or people or problems I can't let go. And I can name, and I won't, right? But Mac, you'll know the one specifically because, you know, we have talked about that actually just recently about how that specific thing was going. There's just certain people that push. There is a song, Mac, and I forget who sings it. Braden, Taylor Braden or Tyler Braden. You know the song.
Yeah.
And the way the song goes, and here's why I love it so much, because I've taken it as a true life experience in a sense that if somebody maybe has a falling out with me, that's fine. You know, if somebody has a problem with me, depending on the situation, I will hand them their shovel. It is up to that individual to either throw that shovel aside and not want it, or not accept it in the first place, or they can dig. If they choose to dig, depending on the person, I will sit there figuratively and I will whisper in their ear, "You sure you want to keep digging?" And I will forewarn them, and I will give them chance after chance after chance not to dig. The more that person keeps pushing, and what I mean by that is, you know, maybe somebody still wants to, you know, run at the mouth or cause problems for me. All you're doing is you're digging yourself deeper in that hole. Eventually, what you're doing by then is you're going to hit Pandora's box. At that point, when you hit Pandora's box, and maybe Pandora's box is different for it's different for different individuals. Once you hit Pandora's box, I am not to be faulted for what comes out of that, because I have sat there and I have told you multiple times, don't dig, just drop your shovel and walk away. The moment you keep digging, once you hit that box, at that point it's out of my hands. Now what comes out of that box, you know, it's like, hey, I told you so. I told you it was coming, you didn't listen. And sometimes, now I've seen it go both ways. I've seen it sometimes where people drop their shovel and walk away. I've seen it where some people will try to, of course figuratively, try to, you know, put the dirt back on top before they did that box. I don't know.
You know, there's a saying. It goes, dig your own grave.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'd say to people that tell me that? I will when the time comes.
Yeah.
But I'm the only one that's digging my own.
I don't know, Mac. I know it's going to sound bad when I say this. I want to address it right now. Mentally, I'm okay. So what I'm about to say may sound contrary. Sometimes, more often than not, I find myself less and less not for this world. In a sense that we are in a world of sensitivity. And I'm just, and Mac, I'll even put you in here too. I feel as if we are both so old school that, you know, we deal with so much sensitivity, and you know, for me personally, it's caused me to be who I am. I don't like the sensitivity where, you know, I can't wrap my head around. Oh well, you know, I gotta watch what I say because I don't want to easily offend, you know, the snowflake over here, and you know, oh, we're supposed to, you know, pat somebody on the ass and make them feel better. It's like, no, I'm going to tell you like it is, and whether you like it or not, you know, if you get offended by it, okay, well, sorry, you know, if not, you know, toughen up.
No,
I'm going to tell you what you need,
no,
not what you want to hear.
There's no sorry for that, because whether somebody likes it or not, if it needs to be said, or if it needs to be addressed, or if it needs to be drawned up or whatever, then it has to be done.
It's like, I'll even throw in like this whole like participation trophies bullshit. No, I always grew up where if you win, you win. And you get the prize for winning. If you lose, you don't get a prize for losing. You know, better luck next time, maybe. I just, you know, I can't wrap my head around going into a sport and not putting in the effort to win. Yeah, I mean, let's take it in the easy way. Oh, I'm just going to go and you know, participate in this sport and not really have the drive or the, you know, determination to win because I'm going to get a trophy anyway.
You know, I agree with that. It's like in the league, it's like, all right, so we finished third.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sit here and hand you a trophy for finishing third. For one, this is not the Olympics, okay? You didn't get a bronze medal.
Right.
You didn't get a third place ribbon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's where third place only counts. It's the Olympics.
Right.
And if we come in third place, I'm not going to sit here and buy 12, 13 trophies, hand them out. Oh, we didn't win, but here's a trophy. Good job. Here's a trophy for third place. Good job. Here's a trophy for third place. Good. No. It's, to me, I don't.
It's patronism.
When I played baseball and we came in third place, I never got a trophy.
Mm-hmm.
I got trophies for winning and runner-up, and even second place. Man, I don't even think second place should get trophies.
No. And so I used to teach my nephew growing up. He's 8 years younger than I am. And he always used to run in when he was little. He always used to run into the house and tell my sister, Mom, Uncle Andy won't let me win. He won't let me win. And she's saying, Andy, just let him win a game. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. And nobody ever understood why. And it's because if I let him win, he's going to take that. And he's going to think that, you know, well, you know, because of, you know, because of my age or because of, you know, whatever excuse he throws out there, other people are going to let me win. So I instilled that in him, and I used to hone in. It's like, look, nobody's going to let you win, so why am I going to let you win? And I used to beat his ass every time, and regardless of whatever sport it was. wrestling, football, whatever it was, and I would go out of my way to put in my effort 100% to beat him every time. And yeah, does it suck to lose? Yes, it does, especially at a young age, But at the same time, you take that, you learn from it, and here a few years ago, my nephew's now in his 20s, and I'll never forget it. I think it was either a phone call or a text message, but he thanked me for it. Thank you for and I'm just going to kind of paraphrase it, but he thanked me for what I had done for him. I mean, this kid, had done baseball, he'd done football, and he excelled in it because he knew what his uncle taught him. Nobody was going to let him win. And he used that. And now, I mean, I can't say enough about him. Complete different contrast than his brother. His brother, sits in his room and, plays his game and screams and hollers and, I mean, which is, I mean, that's his choice. But my oldest nephew, I will say, is somebody I can look back at and say, I'm pretty damn proud of the effort that I put in to make him who he was. And that's what he thanked me for. That's what I had to think for a minute. He thanked me for helping him become the person that he was today. Mac, I want to cry here for a minute, though, and I'm trying not to hear that, and to compare that to, Andy, you should just let him win. Why won't you do this and that? It's called long-term strategy. WWE has recently talked about it, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, long-term game plan, long-term storytelling, so to speak. For me, it was just my long-term plan, my long-term of just, teaching, I guess. It paid off. He didn't have to thank me, but he did. And to hear that was so rewarding, because it goes to show that my efforts of trying to help him, they didn't go, and they weren't taken for granted. They weren't gone unnoticed. But yeah, that's just kind of, I don't know. Mac, you got anything you want to add? Any advice? Anything you want to?
I mean, there's so much that, but it's like somebody comes back and listens, and then it's like, oh, why'd you say that? Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because it needs to be said. It needs to be heard.
Oh.
I'm not gonna let my kids grow up and feel like, oh, I tried, I'm done. No, that's not good enough.
Nope.
It's try, and try again.
Yep.
Until you get it right.
Right.
Or close to getting it right. Or majority right.
Yeah.
But just saying, I tried, and then it's like.
But did you really try?
It's like making a peanut butter. It's like making a PBJ. Oh, I didn't get enough peanut butter on here. Oh, I didn't get enough jelly on here. Oh, I overdid it. Well, there's another 2 slices of bread. Make another one.
Try it again.
And if that loaf runs out and you still don't think you haven't done right, well, guess what? You're still going to eat those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Cause it's not the. It's not. It's
It's
not
not
what you put. It's not what you put here. It's what you put here.
or in the case of
And
peanut butter and
this,
jelly sandwiches, it's about what you put in here.
yeah, which comes out of.
Back here. uh,
You know, sometimes it's best to not lead with your head, but lead with your heart.
or your other head. I think the moral of the story
In
is,
a different terminology, yes.
yeah. I think the moral of the story, though, is sometimes you just got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Sometimes you got to know when to walk away and know when to run. Never count your money when you're sitting at the table. So there'll be
There'll be time for counting when the dealing's done.
Thank you. Yep. Well, Max, stick around after the show. I got to talk to you if you have time for little bit, gangsters, you know. Anything you want to add before we end it?
Yeah. I'm home.
Or I got one for you. We're here. All right, folks. On that note, love y'all. Stay safe. Be good. Two sweet chasses on out of here. Until next time. Hold on. I did say I was going to reference a future episode. While talking about the Benoit case, and it completely slipped my mind. Here, when we get things a little more in detail, we're going to have a special episode either on a Wednesday or Thursday. We are going to have a special guest on. She was very interested in my comments in referencing to the Benoit case. She's into the whole conspiracy theory, and she loves wrestling. And I guess she's a ring announcer. I'd go back and check my messages. But I invited her to be on the show. Fridays don't work for her because of her work schedule, so I guess she's off Wednesdays and Thursdays. I told her, let me talk to my brother. We'd make it work. But I want to get her on the show. Mac, it's been a long time since we've done investigations. Also, I think that if we have somebody interested, I mean, we could do a lot there, whether it's revisiting the Benoit case. I know we closed that case, but I just want to talk about it a little bit, get her thoughts. And then we can move on and see if she wants to join us on a case we decide to open. I know we've talked about the case of the Teletubbies, which you're more familiar with that than I am. So I know there's some conspiracies about Dipsy, or I guess was it Lala sticking his Dipsy in Poe. I don't know what kind of Fruit Loop color shit they got going on, but yeah. So I am going to, once Mac and I get things a little more figured out in our schedules of what works, look for that one because that's going to be interesting. Mike, anything else?
Man, opening up that case again, that's something is there.
I mean, you look at everything. I'm telling you, you know, the voicemail, we heard somebody in the background. And if I'm not mistaken, we even heard some. You know what? I got my freaking notes around here somewhere. I'll have to look for
I
them.
don't know where mine are, but I remember what I remember.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's innocent. So.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the voicemail to his doctor.
No, whether now who did it though, we don't know.
You could hear the person. You can hear the person in the background yabbing his mouth. You could hear. You could hear him cocking the gun.
There's I mean, you know, we had we've even had somebody kind of throw out some a high profile name, a family name, you know, which by the way, you know, speaking of that specific guest, without naming names for his protection, I still want to know why all of a sudden he's up so late at night now, you know. But yeah, so I mean, there are some suspects. I'm curious as to who actually did it.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to know why you've stopped taking your meds, or you don't want to talk about the Phoenix Times with us no more, or.
Look, Mac, you and I go through this almost every time we're on the show. It's because you fucked it up, dude.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you sat there, you made fun of him. No wonder he didn't
I brought up. No, it's because I brought up.
I get caught up on this because of your actions. You sat there and made fun of him, and now he don't want to talk to either one of us.
I didn't make fun of him. I just told him. I just said, "Hey, look,
a dinosaur being man's best friend."
I saw an article about dinosaurs being men's best friend.
Yeah, and you know, he probably took that. I can even say this with a straight face. He probably took that, though, as you being just fucking mean to him. And now he doesn't want to bother with either one of us. What the hell did I do?
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah,
do we need to go there?
I didn't do shit, all right? I was nice to the guy. I didn't do nothing.
Sit there and told him about his long-lost kid, Dennis.
Dennis. Listen, bro. Folks, I love y'all. Stay safe. Be good. Get the hell out. Until next time.
Hit my music.
Stay fly, hustle through the sky, moonwalk on clouds, stack it up, cheddar, feeling better, proud, mind sharp, cutting through vibes, samurai sword, dropping bars, hit like a freight train aboard. City lights reflect dreams, mirrored ambition, chasing glory in the chaos, no permission. Quick wit, sharp tongue, arrows in the dark, navigating life, playing like a park. Buster rhymes taking over, no one can ignore. From the alleyways to the grand concert hall floor, putting pieces together, call it life's jigsaw. Rise from the ashes, Phoenix never withdraw. Cold nights, warm dreams, hustling for the cream. Every block another challenge, never what it seems. Silent whispers in the wind, secrets unfold, weave stories with rhythm. Iron thread to gold. Past struggles, now chapters in a book. Flipping through pages, never a second look. Running fast, marathon of vibes, so sweet. Corner to corner, city to city, life beats. Eyes on the prize, never blink, dodge the haze. Echoes of the past haunt sometimes the blaze. Blueprint to future, scribbled on city walls. Stand tall, fortress of rhymes, never falls.